Welcome to Sabrina's Craft-nanigans. I know it's been a while, but here I is. No pretty faces today because you don't want to see this hot mess going on. Welcome to the What Would You Make collaboration with our beautiful host, Brenda, Rustic and Lace DIY, and Divine Designs with Miss Christine. Our guest host is Miss Cheryl with Farmhouse Frugally. Here we go. All right, guys. So we got to use wood here, right? So I've got this little, garland thing from the Dollar Tree, and the eggs on it were actually made out of wood, very thin wood, but wood nonetheless. So I'm going to pull off the foam, not foam, felt that they glued on there, and they glued it on there with a half a pound of glue. Oh my Lanta. Anyway, got all that pulled off. I wanted to just show you here the size comparison to the ones you buy in a package of like 12, and then the ones that were in that $3, it was a $3 garland thing. But anyway, just showing you a size difference. I wanted the bigger ones. So they do have holes. I thought about filling the holes, but then no, and we'll figure it out later. Anyway, I'm going to cover the back with paper later, but right now we're going to paint the front with Plaster by Waverly. I'm going to smear it all on there, and then I'm going to pounce it. That's what I'm kind of showing you here. We're going to smear, then we're going to pounce, dancing phalanges. Thank you, Heather. My friend Heather sent me so many goodies. If you watched my thrift haul with all of my goodies, my friend Heather from Spindle Mountain Mercantile sent me. Oh, I love my Heather. Look, Heather, I'm using your stuff. Okay, guys, so this is the first time I have used paint inlays. This is IOD paint inlays. Nope, did not buy them myself. My friend Heather sent me some stuff from her stash, and I cannot tell you how excited I was. But you can go see how excited I was if you go watch my thrifting video I did the last time a week ago. Anywho, when you do these, you have to have fresh wet paint on it. So I did my 2 coats of the plaster, and then I just took a brush and I just put another layer of paint on there. I misted it, the paint inlay, with water, and then laid it down. I've got a wet wipe there, and I spritzed it again with a mister, and now I'm dabbing it down, making sure it's pressed down into that wet paint. Now we leave it alone. We just let it dry. Isn't that cute? I know it's as crooked as a dog's hind leg, but you know what? Yeah, I got problems, and seeing's one of them. Okay, so to just watch you again, a little bit fuller speed here. Get a fresh coat of paint on it. Get your paint inlay. Make sure you put it on the right way. The paint toward the paint. I almost put that one on upside down. Spray it with your mister. Pat it with a wet wipe, making sure it's pressed down real good, and you just let those puppies dry. There's a different little image on each one of them. I got a bunny, a little duckling chick, a hen, and a lamb. That lamb's my favorite. There's the chicken. There's the little chickie, baby chick, and there's the bunny one. He didn't fit perfectly on there, but you know. So I'm going to let those dry. They probably dried for about 30 minutes or so while I was working on DIY number 2 coming up here in a little while. So now that they're dry, and you'll know they're dry when they get faded again. Because you know when I spray them, watch when I spray it here in a minute. It'll go bright again. See how it kind of goes brighter? So you know they're dry when, of course, it feels dry. But it also, it looks like the color's faded dry. Anyway, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we go. So you spray it again, pat it down again, and start to pull. If it resists, spray some more water on it, pat it back down. But this was pulling off, and this is an actual time, guys. I pulled that off. Look, I did a paint inlay, Heather. Look how excited I am, y'all. Keep those. Do not throw those away. You can get maybe 2 more uses out of them. Okay, so I'm going to set those to the side because I'm going to use that baby until I can't no more. So here comes our ducky. You spray it to get it wet so that you can pull the paper off again. And then now watch this. I start to pull, but the paper starts to rip. So I put it back down and I spray it with some more water. Pat it down again. I'll start on another corner, and now it peels right off. Yes, my glasses are still broke. Going to the eye doctor this week. That'll be one problem taken care of. Then to take care of the 500 other problems that got me down and out. Anywho, look at the body and the ducky. Oh my God, it's so cute. And there's the little lamp. Look, I'm too excited about this, y'all. This actually worked. I actually did it. I'm so proud of myself. Fancy phalanges, Jade. Okay, now make sure that they're all good and dry. And then what I'm going to do is once I know they're dry really good, I'm going to take my sander and sand around the edges because there was so much glue holding that felt on. Look, that is all clumps of glue, guys. From the felt on the back of that. Just use the regular wooden eggs. This is all I had, actual wood-wise. And I probably should have taken like 4 of them and glued them together to give me something decent. But I was kind of in a hurry, procrastination last minute. Been sick. I'm not even going to go into all that. So anyway, we're just going to put it up to procrastination because I'm a hot mess. Jump aboard the express. Here we go. Woo, woo. Okay, so they're all dry. They're all good. Now I'm going to just put the glue on the back, which it probably didn't need any because it was still so sticky from that felt. See it stick to my hand? And I'm going to glue it just to a back a piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to take my little razor here and just swirl it around and get them all cut out. Sorry for my snot. Apologize. Once I get all those guys cut out, I will take my little zip sander over there that you see up there. And I will sand it off to sand any extra paper and any more chunks of glue lying around all over the place. See, there I go. Gonna zip, zip, zip. Always make sure you like sand down. Follow your paper. Don't pull away from your paper because you'll pull your paper off. So there they are. Now, you know I was going to pull out this antique wax at some point. So I got these little daubers from Temu. It soaked up quite a bit, so I'm trying to get quite a bit off and making a big mess. And I'm just kind of just brushing it against the edges here. And I'll show you how it kind of looks compared to one that doesn't have it yet. So you can see, and then there's one that doesn't have it. I didn't like how it was like such a straight line. So after I did them, I got the old reliable distressing brushes, chippy brushes from the Dollar Tree. And I just went back over the sides to kind of spread that out. And then I kind of flittered over the top of it to give them all that little rustic, patted them dry, made sure we're all good. Going to put that up. Now, I'm going to use some Waverly clear wax because I want to make sure that paint inlay, if it gets wet, will come off. So be careful, since this is clear wax and it's a liquid, it can reactivate the paint inlay, but that's why I was using the fan brush, and I'm just barely just gliding over it very lightly. If you've got more like a spray, a sealer and a spray can, from what I understand, that's better to use than to use an actual brush and a wet liquid clear coat. But this worked fine because I was very light with it, and I kind of didn't care if it smeared because you know that old distressy thing. Okay, so I have all these little colors of chiffon ribbon I got from Temu in that 6-pack. I just picked a color that kind of coordinated with each one. I just made 2 loops, tied a bow, cut it, and then hot glued them all on. So you can see everybody pretty much matches, but I didn't have a real kind of pink for that one, so I just put the white on that one. So here I'm going to burn my fingers off. You know, haven't been in the craft room for like 3 weeks, so of course we got to burn the fire out of my finger. So after this one, I get smart, and I just leave it on the table and put the glue on the egg and then stick the bow on, and yay, no more burned fingers. So I just thought those ribbons added a cute little touch. Plus it covers up the holes, but I still have the holes if I decide I do want to hang them. Gracie's going to join us tonight, my friends. Well, of course, I thought those bows needed a little more zhuzh, so I got into my button stash, and I found kind of a little matching coordinating button that kind of went with those, and I just popped those right there in the middle, like so, of our little chiffon bows. Look how classy I'm getting. I'm getting classy. The hot mess is going classy. Classy to trashy, trashy to classy. But these came out so cute. I was so proud of them. Not too happy with the wood that they're on, but, you know, it's okay. I could add a couple more chunks of wood to the back, or I could even put them on like a big, long plaque or something and I got boards. I could attach all 4 to a board and make a big sign out of it. That would be cute. Maybe I'll do that. So I was very proud of myself. Thank you, Heather, for those paint inlays. Oh my gosh, you have my heart. Here's DIY number 2. So we all know we have all these trays. And so I figured, well, I got this one for like $2 at Goodwill. So I'm going to get the stickers off. You notice that there was like kind of lots of oil stains. It had some water damage, but you know, it's all good. I sanded it down. I really needed to get my electric sander after it, but with my sinuses and stuff, that wasn't happening. So I just sanded it the best I could with my block. And you can see my little eggs up there drying. They're drying. See how they're still really bright colored? They're not ready to play with yet. You got to leave them alone. Anyway, just taking my plaster, same thing I used for my eggs there, and I covered the bottom, and I'm coating the inside, and I covered it up, gave it 2 coats, and I actually realized, hey, you've got some actual chalk paint brushes that I could use. So I pulled that sucker out, and that works so much better than that other one there. So anyway, got it all painted up, about 2-3 coats, okay? Not perfect, but I don't want it perfect because, you know, me and just dressing and the grungy look thing going on. And if that's not your thing, don't do that. So you notice that in that tray there was those 2 slats, like shiplap kind of look grooves. So I just took a little flathead screwdriver and I kind of just dug into there and pulled that paint back out. So it still looked like it had those 2 divots in it. So, yep. And as I was doing this, I realized, I'm sorry, Brenda and Christine, this probably really isn't wood. It's probably fake MDF. But you know what? Whee, boy, can we pretend it's wood? I do have wooden trays. I just apparently didn't grab the actual wooden one. I'm sorry. Okay, so here, you know, the antique wax was going to get busted out. So I'm going to use my distressing brush there. And I was out of frame, so you're seeing me halfway in the middle here. And I just plaster that stuff all on. And then I take a baby wipe, and I'm wiping quite a bit of it off. And I just keep playing with this till I'm happy. I put some antique wax on, and then I wipe it off. And if I wipe too much off, then I brush some more back on. And I wipe, but you can also kind of just pat it and dab it. The pat and dabbing wasn't working too good for me. I guess you got to have like really good paint to do that. I've been watching Erin with the Provincial Farmhouse, and like she's just amazing. Or watching Heather with Spindle Mountain Mercantile, Sammy Unicorn Dust Designs, any of these oh my gosh, they're just amazing. Watching them use these IOD products and DIY paints, but you know what? I'm going the cheap route. I gotta. Anyway, so I'm trying to do what they do, but like pat, 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 wipe, wipe, wipe. It looks more distressed that way, but it was looking kind of funky because, you know, probably because I'm using Waverly Antique Wax and not, you know, an actual glaze or something like that. But, you know, this is about as fancy as Applebee's we getting up in here. Okay. Shout out to my Heather again at Spindle Mountain Mercantile. I got some transfers to play with now. Look, it just got serious. I just got up out the chair in all my glory with my little slippers on and everything. Okay, so this was just one of the little transfers that my friend Heather from Spindle Mountain Mercantile, you guys have got to go check her out. Go check out Spindle Mountain Mercantile. Heather is amazing. Okay, so this fit like perfectly. It's an IOD transfer. Don't ask me what books they came out of because she just sent me a whole bunch of box of goodies. So, you know, I take anything though. I scraps, half a scrap, a piece of scrap. I was so excited. Anyway, so I'm getting this off, and I've heard them say that, you know, the letters are kind of fussy. And it takes a little bit more to get the letters off, and ain't that the truth? I was having a struggle bus with this, but I think my problem is that my paint was still a little bit damp. My paint wasn't fully dry because you could see it on the clear sheet, the paper. And look, I'm burnishing. I'm making sure it's all stuck down real good. Hee-hee, I remembered, Heather. Woohoo! So here we go. I did it. I did the transfer, making sure it's really dry, making some more of that, you know, the chippy was out of there where I dug into it with the screwdriver. Y'all go check Heather out at Spindle Mountain Mercantile. And I'm saying Spindle this time, not Spindle Top. Sorry. I'm from Beaumont, Texas, and this is where Spindle Top is, and that's why I said it. Okay, so now you're just going to see my brain go crazy here. So these ladies, here's some more IOD transfers. And I love these little blue bonnet, lavender looking, not blue bonnet, boy, Texas. Okay, so lavender looking things, and I wanted it at the bottom of the tray so it looks like it's growing up from the tray. Now these came off like butter. They just came off like butter. just zoop, and it just slid right off. And I was like so excited. I felt so professional. Look at me, all standing up, all serious. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And then I burnish it, make sure it's all stuck down. That helps to make sure all those little pieces are down. And if you're pulling it up and you see something didn't stick, then just put the plastic, but set your carrier sheet back down and then just rub it some more. And that's what I was doing with that middle one, but it still wasn't coming off. And I'm pretty sure it was because my paint was still wet a little bit. Make sure your paint is dry before you put the transfers on. Okay, now this one, I wanted one like that one on the other side, but this one was a little bit different. It's bigger and it's bending the same way, but I wanted it to bend the other way. So I remember what Heather said. You can take these and cut them up and cut them apart any way you please. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut the leaves off the left side, which I really didn't have to do because I end up putting them back on anyway. And I'm just getting some chunk off right there. And then I'm still seeing, man, I want the little lavender flower at the top to turn and curve the other way. So, because you could see it's going up the side of the thing. So I thought, well, I'll cut it off and then I can just lay it back down and it'll curve more toward the inside instead of going up the side of the tray. So I go ahead and I'm using just like a little stick here. It's like a popsicle stick, but it's square, not rounded off. And I got that down. And then I took the little flower part, stuck it down, but turned it a little bit, and ta-da! It worked. I was so proud. I was so happy. I'm so proud of myself. Oh, look at that. And then I go grab my little leaf. Look, I scraped my paint off right there. So see, my paint wasn't fully dry because I'm scraping the paint off. So then I take my little leaves right here and I just stick them back on the side. I could have left that on and could have varnished and could have, rubbed that on the side. I did not have to cut that part off, but my brain was just, anyway, it's okay. It's all good. Look, this is all excitement right here, guys. When you see me jumping and everything, this is all excitement. Sorry about the hairy shirt. That's the 5 cats. Okay. And I had to babysit my 2 fur grandkitties these past week. So, yeah, we had 7 cats in the house. Shh, don't tell my apartment people. Okay. So, I'm back to my antique wax, and I'm going to do the same thing on the inside that I did on the outside. I did the outside, and then I thought, wait, I got to put my transfers in before I do the wax on the inside. So, I did the outside wax, and then I had to stop, put the transfers on, and now I'm doing the inside wax. And I'm just making sure the corners are in there real good. And I'm going to do all 4 sides. And now I've got so much on my wipey, I didn't even have to put anything on there. I just took what was on the wipey and just wiped it all off. If this is too much for you, don't do it. I did like it white. It is kind of a little dark. I did add a little bit of extra white distressing to it. I just took like a chippy brush and threw some more white on there later. But there she is. Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she lovely? No, I won't sing for you. That ain't going to happen. Okay, so I decided it needed something else. So you could kind of see right there that I've added some little extra zhuzhes of white in there. Plaster, not white. I'm going to take my twine, and I'm going to... I needed something else. I felt like I really hadn't done very much, but paint it and put the transfers on. But it's about all I can manage at this point. So I'm going to take my jute twine here, and I'm going to get me off a hunk. And I'm just going to wrap the end handles. And I'm just going to wrap it tight. And I did hot glue it there. And I'm going to make sure it's stuck down real good. So hopefully that it stays. And so far, so good. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to wrap it through the handle there. I see lots of people do this and I like it. I think it's pretty. Adds a little bit more zhuzh to it. It's all about the zhuzh. I don't like a lot, but I got to have something. I was even going to add more transfers to the top, like some butterflies at the top of the tray. But all of them I put on, I was just like, nah, it's too much. Nah, it's too much. I wanted to put some more little, like, weed grass at the bottom. But I was like, no, too much, too much, too much. I'm kind of a, sometimes I'm simple, sometimes I'm overboard. This time I'm simple. So I'm just showing you I'm going to go all the way around. When I get to the end, I'll cut it off, hot glue that piece down. Actually use the scissors so I don't burn myself. Only one burn tonight when I put the green bow on the egg up there. So you can see my little eggs with my paint and lace. Oh, they're so cute. Okay. And that's glued on. And of course, you know I got to play with fire. So I'm going to set the whole tray on fire here. And I'm going to burn my jute down because that is some fuzzy, fuzzy jute. It's some thick jute too. But it's some good fuzzy jute. So there we go. Got that done. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. But y'all ain't got to sit through all that. And here it is. I know it's just two quick things. It's some eggs with some paint inlays. And it's a tray with a transfer and not too much. It took me maybe 2 hours to do all of this. And some of that was dry time for the paint inlays. But, oh, guys, man, hot mess here. Hot mess. I'm just happy to get y'all something. I missed y'all. I have missed hearing, reading y'all's comments and chatting with y'all. Hope we can get back in the groove. Hopefully, got spring break this week. I hope to see you again this week sometime. And I hope to bring you some more paint inlays and some more transfers. Yee! So exciting, so exciting. Get some more thrift flips and some crafting our stash. Oh, yeah, I'm excited. You guys make sure you go check out Brenda, Christine, and Cheryl. Their links are in the description box. And I love you guys so much. Click that playlist too. Love you.